What is going on, everybody? This is Xano with Xano Software, and I'm here today with the Do-It-Yourself Live Wallpaper, and I'm going to be walking you through a tutorial of the settings, and we're going to be making our own wallpaper, so it's going to be kind of fun, so just check it out. The first thing that we're going to be checking out here is in our settings. We have our presets and profiles. I was just using a preset called the Illumination preset. I'm going to pick the square fountain now so you can see the difference. There's about 16 pre-baked wallpapers that you can choose from if you're running the Elite version. If you're running the free version, the number is more akin to about 5. So we'll go to one of the free ones. All of these presets that you can select from have their own unique touch and scroll settings. So you can see I have this explosion happening at the end of touch, and I have this crazy scroll effect happening. So we can change all of that in the touch and scroll settings. You can either enable or disable it and choose what you want to have happen if you're running the Elite version. So we can pick the worm, and we can also change our scroll settings if you have the Elite version. So we can say we want our scroll life to be about 10, our starting size to be 1, and our ending size to be 3. We'll kind of do the opposite. And if we save now, when we touch, we have that effect instead of the explosion. And when we drag, you can see our squares are starting small, they're getting bigger, and they're fading to a different color. So now, if you want to get a little bit more in depth, and you don't want to just tweak your touch settings and your scroll settings, you can start messing with your basic values and your advanced values. In order to do this, you're going to need to select a profile. So we're going to select Profile 3. Now by default, the profile looks something like this. Alright, so we have these green circles, and they're kind of doing this loop pattern. We want to customize this. So to begin any custom wallpaper, I recommend tweaking your advanced value all to 0 and enabling your basic values, and again setting everything to 0. If you have the Elite version, I would also recommend starting your size to 16 and ending it at 16. Alright, and when you save it, that'll give you an effect like this. So as you can see, we have our 4 corners here, and there's not a whole lot going on. Alright, that's because we've applied no velocity and no acceleration. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is apply some acceleration. Or apply some velocity. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our advanced values, and we're going to set a minimum left and right of about 180. It doesn't have to be just, right, but around 180. Same with the maximum. If you're running the free version, these two values are inherently linked. If you're running the Elite version, you can separate the two of them, and I'll get into that at the end of the tutorial. I'll show you why you want to separate them and what benefit it has to keeping them linked. So we have a minimum up-down of about 100, maximum up-down of about 100, and now we have velocity applied to our particles. So we resume, and this is what we get. Alright, that's not bad. But I want these particles, when they go off on the side here, to kind of loop back around like that. Alright, and in order to do that, I need to apply some acceleration. So velocity, the way to think about velocity is constant speed. Acceleration is velocity over time. Alright, so if we apply negative acceleration on the up-down axis of negative 15, that'll pull it down and off the screen. So see how it wants to start curving back down now? Alright, and the same thing can happen if we apply some acceleration to the left and the right. So applying a negative acceleration is going to want to make it go away from us, and applying a positive value is going to want to make it go towards us. So by applying a negative value, we're basically going to be making this come out, and then when it goes out off the screen, it's going to be curving back around, back onto the screen. Alright? And so this is the effect that we're left with. So now, what we're going to want to do is start tweaking the shape. So I don't like this hollow circle. I want to go with something a little bit more like a star. So I'm going to pick the star. And we can see off the bat, it looks a lot better than it did. So now we're left with something similar to the Illumination preset. But we're going to make it just a little bit different, because I don't like the steady stream. I want to make it have more random of an effect. So in order to give it a more random effect, I can go into my basic values. Okay? And I can select a maximum up-down acceleration of -5. So we have a minimum of -15 and a maximum of -5. And so what this is going to do is apply some different up and down acceleration values to each particle. So we're going to have an almost random effect controlled between -5 and -15, and it gives us this. Alright, but it's still not quite there because all of these particles are the same size. So just to make the ultimate icing on the cake, we're going to go back into our basic values here and into our size values. Our starting size is 16, as big as it can get. That's really good. But I'm going to make the ending size all the way down to 1, make it really, really small. And the reason I want to do that is because I don't like having all those big particles cluttering my screen at the end of the effect. I would much rather have a bunch of smaller particles kind of dancing around. Alright, so after we apply that effect, we almost got what we want, but it looks like the particles are actually too small now. They're becoming invisible before they get back to us. So let's go back into basic, back into the sizes, and we can tweak our ending size up to maybe 4. And while we're here, let's go to our particle shape and color options, and we can select a preset color, the top 3 if you're on the free version, or all 5 if you're on the pro version. We'll pick a yellow turquoise, or we can enable a custom color, which we're going to do in a moment. So now we've got a yellow turquoise preset. You can see the stars going off. Alright, that looks great. That is almost exactly what I wanted, but I'm still not happy with the colors. So I'm going to go back into my color options. I'm going to enable custom colors, and I'm going to enable dual colors. This is a pro version feature only. If you're running the free version, you can't do this. But you can select a single custom color, and the step is almost the same. So I'm going to take a purple into, I want to do like a kind of a dark light blue. I'm going to start it way over here, and it's going to take a very long time to end the fade. And you'll see what that means in a second. So we're starting the fade right about now. Alright, and it's going to start fading into that blue, but it's not going to finish until it's almost done. And that's the effect we're left with. Alright, I think that looks really, really nice. So that's the tutorial, guys. You can keep taking this a step further, and if you have the elite version, you can start tweaking with the minimum up and down velocities and the minimum left and right velocities, and you're left with kind of varied effect like you were with the acceleration, except you have a little bit more control because remember, velocity is constant. So with that tweak, this is the effect we're left with. We can see a lot more randomness happening. So that's really about it, guys. Again, everything has these custom scroll options. So let's just make one of these really quick. We'll say start it really big, end it really small. Alright. Alright, guys. If you need any more help, just hit the miscellaneous button and email me. And just cross out feature request, put in help request or whatever, and let me know what your issue is. And I will be glad to respond to you and help you, and we'll make some great wallpapers. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.